Well, today I want to talk to you a little bit about the progressive revelation of God in our lives. And it's very important that we think about this. If you want to turn to Proverbs 25, 2 and 3, just a little blurb, but it deals with this whole subject of the revelation. It says, "It is the glory of God to conceal a thing, but the honor of kings is to search out a matter. The heaven for height, the earth for depth, and the heart of a king is unsearchable." Now, what does that mean for us as just general flunkies here on the earth? We don't appear to be kings and queens, though there's a lot of people that like to use the term queens and kings for whatever. But what is this talking about for us, and what's it got to do with this progressive revelation? Well, let me ask you a question. When those of all of us who got married at some point in time, did we know everything about our spouses when we got married? No. I mean, it might have scared away the spouse had we known everything about the other person. This is important to understand, is the glory of God is to conceal something, and it's an honor for us to be able to find it out. Now, I love doing what I do because I help people to solve problems. I like being, Jerry can tell you, we'll go to somebody's house and we'll look at it and we'll think, what was this contractor thinking? This is the most stupid thing I've ever seen. Why would you do that? I mean, just the last place we worked at. The contractor came in and removed all the support walls, and then the whole ceiling was bowing down. Why would you do that? Because you're stupid. I mean, it's just that clear. You're stupid. So it was up to me to figure out how to use the existing structure to re-support the existing structure to get everything spread out to where I could take that bow out and level the roof out. But it was an honor that I was put in that situation to do that. And it was kind of funny is the man who was there kind of overseeing what we were doing, he was a master's degree in architectural engineering. And after I did what I did, he said, well, the only thing that you did wrong was that you didn't consult me as an architectural engineer to have me tell you what to do, because you did a great job doing what you do, and you don't have a degree in it. I have a master's. I'm like, well, it's what happens when you solve problems for years. So it's an honor for God to direct me and to help me to reveal some of what He is day by day. And it's the same thing in a marriage. As we go through, we get married. I didn't know doodly squat about my wife. She had blonde hair, green eyes. What else did I really know about her? Not a whole heck of a lot, but it's been an honor to search her out day by day to get to know her. And the same thing with our kids. They're born, what do I know about this little thing? Likes to poop and eat, That's it. Cries a lot. But as they grow, their nature is revealed to us, and we get to understand them. We see how our actions mold their actions and their desires. It's this concept of progression that we see in the biblical text. In the beginning, when God creates man and woman, does God reveal everything about himself to these two people in the garden? No. As we read through the text, we see a progressive revelation about the nature of God, who he is, what his plans are, who Christ is. In the garden, we see God as a father dealing with his children. He is a loving father. Even when they've messed up, he's calling for them in the garden. Hello, Adam, Eve, where are you? I want to have a relationship with you. Where are you at? And they're hiding because why? Just like little kids, they screwed up and were afraid they were going to get a spanking. Now, what happens? They get disciplined, and then they have children, and for whatever reason, Cain just decides he's going to go crazy and kill his brother. He gets disciplined. You see a revelation a little farther and a little farther. You go to Abraham and Noah, David. All these biblical characters have a little bit greater revealing of the nature of God in their lives, until you get down to Christ, who becomes the embodiment of this revelation, who walks with man and talks with man as a living entity that we can interact with. See, the problem with God in the beginning is we couldn't see him. We had no ability to see God. We could hear God. We could sense God. We could see what he does. There's a cloud of fire or a pillar of smoke, or we could see what he's causing, but we don't see God. We can feel his spirit. Samson had the Spirit of God come upon him, and he totes 10,000-pound doors miles away. There's this revelation of God that's very, very slow throughout man's history. And when you think about it, it's probably a good thing. Because if we had known everything that there was to know about God, we wouldn't need to search anymore. See, when God created man in the garden and woman, he gave us an innate desire to search something out. Man has this innate issue that their brains are in idle until he sees this problem that needs to be solved, and you go solve it. And then we go back into rest mode, sleep mode, if you want to call it in computer terms. That's where we spend most of our time. Women, on the other hand, they want to congregate in groups and discuss problems, and then they want to search for some answer, so they go find some guy to go solve it for them. That's what they do. Men and women are constantly seeking to solve problems. It's our nature. God created the heavens and the earth, and He wanted us to solve problems that were within our capability to solve. Now, say you take Nebuchadnezzar. If God had revealed to him E equals MC squared, what would he have done with it? Not a darn thing. Nothing. Because he didn't have the capability of knowing what to do with it. So why would God even bother to reveal something like that to someone when what's he going to do with it? I mean, God may have revealed the secrets of the universe to me, but I'm maybe a bit too stupid to know what they were when it got revealed to me. God revealed to me one time, I had an engineer that we were traveling doing some work, and overnight I had this dream, and so I talked to this engineer about it, and he looked at me with this really weird look on his face, and he goes, "Why did God tell you that? You're not an engineer. Why did he tell you that? Not me. I'm an engineer. I can figure out what to do with that." I'm like, what do I know? I mean, I know what I was given, but I don't really have the time or the technical expertise to build that. But I've told some folks about it, and they all like, well, this is a great idea, but I don't know what to do with it. Well, at some point, maybe somebody will. But God reveals Himself day by day to us if we'll search for Him. And what is it that we need to search out about God? Do we need to go and say, "Hey, God, I need a winning lotto ticket. Please give me one"?
Don't work.
That don't work. No. I guarantee you, almost all of us in here have tried that. It don't work. What works is to seek an answer for the problems that we're given day by day, and seeking the person who has been sent to help find that. Christ, if we covenant with Him in a blood covenant, when a blood covenant is struck, you exchange blood and you become closely bound to that person, more closely bound than if you're blood relative. And by doing so, Christ is duty bound to help you solve the problem. Sometimes He may help just solve it right there. But sometimes He wants us to search His nature and the natures around us to find the solution that He's provided. You know, there's an old saying that nothing comes easy. Okay? Well, when you're a child, some things come easy. A piece of candy from Grandpa, that comes pretty easy. The second piece of candy may not be so easy. But when we are forced to search, what does that say about us? What's it say right here? The honor of kings is to search out a matter. That means you and I and every person in here are rulers in God's kingdom, because we have been chosen to search out matters of utmost importance. What's the most important matter given that we can search out? Our own salvation. Our own salvation is the most important subject that we can search out and find the answer to in all of creation. And then, what do? the king or the queen assists other people so that they can find their redemption and salvation. God is letting us know from His own words that we are kings and queens. Not just in some, I'm a queen of my house or I'm a king of my house. No. We are really kings and queens in His kingdom who are helping solve the problems of the world. We're searching the heights and searching the depths. We're searching the hearts of men so that we can solve their problems and get them into God's kingdom, where they're created to be. We're not created to covenant with Satan. If we were created to covenant with Satan, man, nothing bad would ever happen to us. We'd have more money than you can shake a stick at. We'd all be rulers of a lot of other people. But that's not what we're supposed to be. We're supposed to be covenanted with God and have life everlasting for eternity. That's what Satan was tempting Christ with. Hey, all these kingdoms I give to you. You want to be a king? You want to be queen? You can rule over all these people. That's not what kings and queens are to do. Right there. The honor of a king is to search out a matter. It doesn't say anything there to, It says his throne will be established in righteousness. You can't rule and lord it over people and be righteous. You really can't. God wants you to be authoritative, to take authority as a king and queen in His kingdom and go out and rule over the evil and take authority over it and get rid of it. Solve the problems of people. Search out His heart and His mind and help others to come into the kingdom. That's the nature of God. That's the power of God in our lives. And that's why Christ came, so that we can have that authority back in our lives that was taken away in the garden. We are kings and queens in His kingdom if we'll do what it says for us to do. Search. If you don't think that you really understand God in what you need to do, ask God to help you search. Say, I want to search. I want to search you out. I want to search your heart, search your mind, so that, like Jesus says, I wish they were one as we are one. A better translation of that is, I wish they were unified in purpose as you and I are unified in purpose. When we seek to search out the purpose of Christ and God in every situation we're faced, we'll find the answer. But it comes down to purpose. Let's search for the purpose and search for that righteous purpose that we are to focus on in every situation, and we'll find the answer. Let's pray.